Let's have a quick look on here. So, last chance to temporal special agent pack. So you can get the temporal special agent pack for £129 or dollars, but bloody hell, it's about 100 quid, £107. What's
like
new? What's coming? Well, let's have a quick look at this. Well, now the shard's down. This is all the new stuff we get to look forward to. We now have, I'm going to say that's a silent T, the Tzenkethi forces have set up operations in the how do we pronounce that? In the Gonkra system at the far edges of explored space. The Tzenkethi battle zone is a new area for level 60 captains. That's me! Tzenkethi ships guard new mining construction operations where the Tzenkethi have built facilities to harvest the raw material of the system and turn it into weaponry. Allied forces rally to set up blockades and counter the Tzenkethi construction projects, destroy their research data and deny them assets for their war machines. Of course, the Tzenkethi will fight to protect their operations. Once Allied forces have taken control of the area, captains must hold off Tzenkethi dreadnoughts and use metaphasic shielding. Succeed, and the Tzenkethi will be repulsed from the system. Fail, and their war efforts will continue. This is sounding a little bit like another variation on the Undine battle zone, but we'll see. Completion of objectives in the Tzenkethi battle zone will award new Lucari marks, used for advancing through the Lucari Restoration Initiative reputation. Awesome! Additionally, participation awards expertise and dilithium. The Tzenkethi battle zone is available to level 60 captains of all factions, accessible from the Alpha Quadrant. When? That's going to be called Star Trek Online Reckoning. Alright, Season 12, Reckoning. Woo! Redwood City start. Update arrives January the 26th with featured episode, new space queues and more. Redwood City Caliph, January 11, 2017. Today, Perfect World Entertainment Inc., a leading publisher of free-to-play MMORPGs and Cryptic Studios, announced Star Trek Online will kick off its 7th anniversary with the release of Season 12, Reckoning, the newest chapter to a 100% free-to-play MMORPG based on the classic Star Trek franchise, releases on PC. January the 26th and on Xbox and PlayStation 4 at a later date. Season 12 celebrates Star Trek Online's upcoming anniversary with giveaways and mini-games, plus 2 new space queues, a new research and development system category, and a featured episode titled Of Signs and Portents. This year's anniversary event for Star Trek Online offers captains the opportunity to complete in-game missions to earn exciting rewards, including the new Tier 6 Lucari science vessel, with the community selected the design for last fall. Players can also participate in 2 daily missions, Omega Molecule Stabilization, and Party Patrol, to earn special rewards and play the Omega Molecule Stabilization minigame with Q to earn materials to construct crafting kits. Festivities also include server-wide giveaways for in-game items, which will take place soon on a daily basis leading up to the anniversary event release. Season 12, Reckoning, continues the mission from Star Trek Online's latest update, Agents of Yesterday Artifacts. Under the leadership of Captain Kukumarke, the Lucari have set out on a journey to investigate some unusual activity in an unexplored region of the Alpha Quadrant. Upon further inspection, they discover data that suggests weaponized use of protomatter. Fearing the Tzenkethi are behind this, they put up a call for help to the Alliance, whose tasks captains from across the galaxy to help the Lucari prevent a looming cataclysmic attack. Mission details for Season 12, Reckoning, will be revealed in the new featured episode of Signs and Portents, which will also feature the game's first appearance of General Rodek, voiced by actor Tony Todd. The update also unlocks an expansive amount of content for captains to explore, including a new reputation, a new crafting school in the R&D system to create kits and modules, 2 brand new space queues, Gravity Kills and a Tzenkethi Front, and a full space battle zone that has the Alliance pitting itself against the Tzenkethi in a desperate bid to stop the production and deployment of proto-matter weapons. And everyone knows this last bit, Star Trek Online is a free-to-play, massively multiplayer online game where players can pioneer their own destiny as captain of a Federation starship, become a Klingon warrior, and champion the Empire through the far reaches of the galaxy, or rebuild the Romulan legacy as a commander of the Romulan Republic Warbird. In Star Trek Online, players have the opportunity to visit iconic locations for the particular from the popular Star Trek universe, reach out to unexplored star systems, and make contact with new alien species. Star Trek Online is currently available on PC, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So cool! What we got down here? Oh, nothing. So Star Trek Online Reckoning is coming. I didn't say anything about the other one because I just haven't been on it enough, which I'm really annoyed with myself, to be honest. Hearts and Minds returns. Let's have a look at this. Sometimes exploration of new ideas and new technologies leads to dark places. In Star Trek, we see many a cautionary tale about omniscient supercomputers, time travel, genetic manipulation, and telepathic oppression. The pursuit of knowledge isn't always safe or pretty. Hearts and Minds is a mini-mission that explores the consequences of some unconventional research gone awry. This mission is a story in one act, so you can easily finish it in a quick play session, and it's easy to complete it with any additional characters that you may have on your account, which is handy because the mission offers a special reward. Since Hearts and Minds is a horror story, it will only be around for Friday the 13th, whenever that may fall on the calendar, and perhaps another sufficiently horrifying day that we might choose. Ooh. Fortunately for the squeamish, Hearts and Minds is creepy, but not graphically gruesome. Dagnabbit! After all, what you can imagine is sometimes more horrific than anything you can be shown. Hearts and Minds take place in the Donatu sector of Eta Eridani sector block, at a lunar research station in a Donatu system, and characters 11+ can accept this mission. Hell Franklin Drake, Federation officers and Romulan allied with the Federation, or Gimen Klingon officers and Romulans allied with the KDF to undertake this mission. It is available to play from around 6 PM PDT, January the 12th, until around 6 AM PDT Sunday, January the 15th. Cool! Friday the 13th, I'll be playing that tomorrow. I'm going to do a video on that tomorrow. It's going to be great. So let's come out of there. Some excellent stuff coming. Let's have a look at the starships thingy before we sign off in this video. Concept design. We designed the Tzenkethi character models first, so when we designed the species spaceships, we knew that they had to continue the character of those distinctive designs. We chose a close-shaped language and put extra emphasis in making them look like flying shells. They had to look tanky and blunt. Later, we decided to add graphical decorations so the ships would look more stylish and intelligent. Hector Orris, concept artist. You are awesome, sir. Systems design. As with their ground forces, a flight with the Tzenkethi in space will become easier as you understand their tactics and capabilities further. Something that you'll come to realise early on is that a Tzenkethi ship is highly resilient, and the strength of their shields is tough to rival. However, no design is without its weakness. In order for the Tzenkethi to accommodate the strength of weaponry they desired, they needed to sacrifice their forward-facing shield power. In addition, this also meant that they need to localise their weaponry to keep efficiency up. This resulted in their primary means of damage to be front-facing as well. Ooh. The Tzenkethi would not allow such a flaw with their weaponry setup to exist on its own. In response, they equipped all of their ships with familiar mobile capabilities to more than make up for the weapon loadout disparity. The Tzenkethi know the strength of their fellow comrades. As a result, certain Tzenkethi ships are able to make Tzenkethi technology operate more efficiently when they are in close proximity to each other. Proceed with caution if you plan to employ bunching tactics against a group of Tzenkethi ships. Higher ranked Tzenkethi ships come equipped with long-range protomatter-laced weaponry. While these weapons can't lock on to a ship post-launch, they are extremely potent to the unaware target. As an additional benefit to the protomatter aspect of the weaponry and the Tzenkethi technology, the explosions leave behind volatile radioactive clouds. These clouds are extremely dangerous to non-Tzenkethi ships. What about the Malon? The Malon do that. However, Tzenkethi have adapted their technology to reuse and draw in protomatter. This provides their ships with increased restorative properties and strengthened defensive capabilities. In space, the Tzenkethi are formidable, and not without a few other tricks. We believe that the Star Trek Online community of captains will show adaptability and cleverness that even the Tzenkethi will not be ready for. Matt Campbell, systems designer. You're awesome, sir. Art creation. Ooh. The Tzenkethi ships have been quite fun and very interesting to work on. Since we don't know much about them, it's been a very rewarding experience for all the artists at Cryptic to develop a language for the design of such a strange, alien culture. The first steps for the building of any ship come from our talented concept artist Hector Ortiz. He supplied us with very detailed drawings that included different views of the ships, and an actual 3D sketch that he made in 3ds Max. After that, we had meetings and wrote emails, a lot of them. where we discussed all the details that would make these ships so unique. Once most of the information about the design is sorted out, and we have a good idea of what we need to achieve, we started to figure out the actual material for the Tzenkethi fleet of ships. I will break down the concept into all the different details and panels that need to follow our ship material master template. All ships need to follow certain constraints, so the players can exchange different materials all across the board. Some parts need to be simplified, and others need to be able to tile. There is also room for creating new parts, like a weapon port or a section of panel. They're awesome, aren't they? Very, very nice. They kind of do sort of remind me a little bit of... Oh, I haven't fought against them for so long, I can't even remember what their name was. The name is those orange fellas with dreadlocks that are in the Delta Quadrant. Oh, they're very nasty. I'll put some up on here. I'll put a little flash up on here so you know what I'm talking about, but I can't remember what they're called right now. Once we have resolved the placement of where everything belongs and the basic shapes that we need to accomplish, we start building all the different sections for the material. One of the ideas for the Tzenkethi was the use of plates that are similar to strong shells that are used for armour. We looked at alligators, crocodiles, turtles, lizards, and monitors. That's monitor lizards, not actual monitors that you play games on, like CRTs and stuff like that, because I can't see anything reminiscent of CRTs or cathode ray tubes or anything like that. Anyway, the art director even mentioned the ballistic from D&D. This became the most used section for the material. This became the most used section for the material. We built elongated shells in ZBrush, giving the fleet a very specific look and feel that would make them unique. Look at that. Is that nice or what? Every other section was built in 3ds Max, as we see here. We kept in mind the organic lines that were going for in main panels and kept straight geometrical lines for trims and mechanical areas, like grills and plate connections. Nothing is still set in stone, as the idea is always to be able to move pieces and details to make the most of the texture size that we can use. Once all of the modelling is done, we create 2D textures based on the geometry that was built. The most important aspect at this point are ambient occlusion, material ID, and a normal map. There are other ones that we use like cavity map, height map, and other ID maps. This is the ambient occlusion map. Oh man, that's so cool! The source files that we create are brought into Subspace Designer. Here we will combine them to create the actual material that will give the ships their look. We look into the specific properties that make each section of the ship so unique. It might be the undertones under a metal, or the way the light travels over a semi-dull surface. There is also room to create something unique, like the way the armoured shell would behave. When you look at a beetle, you can perceive iridescence. So we wanted to place some of that on the material in just the right way to represent organic life under the armour. Iridescence, yes, but if you look at a beetle under a microscope, they don't have any colour. It's true, look it up. It's the geometric shapes that their shells and that are made up of on a microscopic level that bend the beams of light and split them into different spectrums of colour, therefore giving off a colour like a lot of beetles are iridescent but green. It's awesome, man. Anyway, look it up. There's a, and there we are. A separate material that we need to create is a sheet where decals, windows and lights are placed. This will be applied over floating geometry that slightly hovers over the 3D model for the ships. It's really interesting stuff, isn't it? This is creating windows, decals and lights. The outputs that we have out of Subspace Designer are 4 textures: a diffuse map that has a reflection map in its alpha channel, a normal map, a luminosity map, and a colour specular map that has a gloss map in its alpha channel. The reason for using this system is so that later on, when changes need to be made or materials need to be colour shifted, it is much easier to go back on and tweak properties. So we have the reflectivity, the gloss, the diffuse, the luminosity, the normal, and the specular. Once the basic material was created, we started working on the actual 3D models for the ships. The first one we built was the battleship. We started from a 3D sketch that Hector Ortiz originally built while brainstorming the ship's overall shapes. It is an excellent guide and makes our job much easier. We would still spend most of our time refining shapes, looking for how all the parts intersect, and making sure that the volumes are represented as well as the final concept. Something that we also look at is how shapes and lines blend and follow each other. This will make for a cohesive object that can be looked at from different angles and look plausible. We designed a battleship with a bulky front and a slender tail. It gives a menacing look. The front has multiple mouths which make it quite intimidating. It does. I love it. It's excellent. From the front view of the battleship, and this is the underside view of the battleship. Get them in at the same time. They look gorgeous. The Tzenkethi Dreadnought was our favourite ship to build out of the three. We really like the hammerhead look. So do I. And how light travels across the entire wingspan. The most complex piece to build was the swooping lines of the front and how they intersected with the wings. All those crevices had to intersect and have room for light to show through. We have some freedom designing the decals, but once we had them in place, we got a second opinion from Hector, and minor tweaks were done to them. It's always good to have a second pair of eyes to look at your work. That way you can truly improve on things. This is the top view of the Dreadnought, and that's the underside view of the Dreadnought. Isn't it gorgeous? Oh man, I want one of those. I'm going to stick Nukara stuff on it. I always do. Bottom view of the Dreadnought. The Tzenkethi drones didn't take as much time to make as the battleship or the Dreadnought. Let's go down. We started by looking at early sketches that Hector made and sent an email out to the ship team to see what people liked and what changes we could make. It had a kit bash approach to it, and after building a couple of big ships you get a better idea about what makes the Tzenkethi ships unique. Because they are so much smaller, they need to be able to read from much further distances, so the silhouette has to be simple yet still have increasing parts to look at. I'd love to have one of those instead of my shuttlecraft. One of our favourite aspects of this design is the glowing lights that you see in between the different sections. It's what makes these ships come to life. There are also blinking lights and rotating materials that support this idea. One of the last things that we implemented were the decals. They support the overall line work and give the fleet another layer of complexity. Look at this. Tzenkethi battleship views, man. It's lovely, can't wait to get into that. I bet they kick my ass quite quick. Here's the view to the Dreadnought. And this is the view of the drone. Once the model is done, we need to place the nodes that will display the impulse trails, warp trails, phasers, cannons, torpedoes and special effects. All those effects have been specially created to make this fleet unique. We also had to create 2 lower polycount versions for each one of the ship's 3D models. This way they load into outer space at far distances without having to display all the polygons that you see up close. Once that is completed, we can run a batch file that brings all the parts into our engine, and then we can hook up all the sections together to create the final assets. Look at that. And they get to fly, all these, man. And this is the ship artist Mauricio Tejarina. You are awesome, sir. So, I've read all of that about the new Tzenkethi ships and all the battle zones and everything awesome that's coming. I hope you enjoyed listening to me read it. I do like to read things for people, especially people that have problems reading, or you know, they don't like sitting there and reading a whole long page of things. It's easier just to listen to someone else read them out. And it's something I enjoy doing, so I hope you enjoyed that. And I can't wait to get into the new Tzenkethi and start kicking some butt. It's going to be awesome, and earning some new rewards and things. And until then, I have been TheSpoons313, and I will see you in Star Trek Online. If you want to join my fleet, it's Fleet Section 313, and we've got plenty of room. We need some really good captains in there to help us build the fleet up. The fleet's been going for a couple of years, but we just haven't had enough people or enough time to help us build it all up, which is, you know, we have got people on there helping, but we just need someone to help with the duty officers, because I'm spending all my money on them, and it's taken 60 years, but we will get there eventually. It's just going to take some time. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Ta-ta!